Captain America, jumps through the closing doors, avoids all the shooting bullets, eventually flips the bike, throws his shield, and saves the day. So we're talking today, of course, of the streets, but more importantly, the street rod. It's basically the Motor Company's Custom King. If you guys don't remember, a couple years ago, the Motor Company put out a contest called the Custom Kings, where dealerships could present what's going on. Where dealerships could, I'm now messed up. Where dealerships could customize their own street, enter a contest, and gain recognition. The dealership I worked at a couple years ago, we actually did a Custom Kings, and I'll pop up pictures here. And we won regionals. We beat out 4 dealerships for regionals, and then we lost in the next round. Honestly, our bike wasn't that great. Some of the bikes that were great were put out by the West Coast, and they deserved to win completely. We got a little baby trophy for winning regionals, but it wasn't what we wanted. And then we were sitting on a $10,000 bike with $12,000 worth of stuff on it, and it didn't sell for about 3 years. So what we have with the street rod is Harley-Davidson's Custom King, essentially. It's a bike that kind of looks like you spent some money on it out of the factory. The street rod is the 3rd model in the street family. After the Street 500 and the Street 750 were introduced in 2014 as a urban city riding bike. It's supposed to be aimed towards the younger generation riders in price and style. They were fairly cheap, fairly cool looking, and they were kind of advertised as a young person's bike to kind of bounce around breweries and drink IPAs. Now, a little bit of pop culture for the street family. One of the really cool things about the street is in 2014 when they were actually introduced into the X Games as these badass ice racing machines that we see here. A couple professional riders, and they put nails in the tire and actually rid them on ice. I don't know if it actually became a game. We had the olive gold, which is a really cool color. Of course, we got the red iron denim, the electric blue, and then of course the Bonneville salt denim. Now, especially the street rod, it has kind of that racing effect, so they went with the drag style handlebars with the mirrors on the end, which can actually go up or flip down depending on who does the PDI on them. Lightweight front fender and performance tail section, of course. Responsive front and rear suspension. Actually has really good suspension. We'll go over that during the test ride. 3.5 gallon tank, a little bigger than a peanut. 2-piece, 2-up seat with passenger foot pegs. Now, lighter than most Harleys, but comparison to like let's say a CBR or a R1, they're pretty heavy. So vivid black, 8600 color. Remember, tack on another $400. In this case, $300 because you have less paint. ABS is optional. Security is optional. You're looking at the 800 for ABS and 400 for security. That's cool. I remember this one. I think that one actually won something. Oh, Macon. Yeah, it was in Georgia. Anyway, we're going to go take our street ride out for a test ride and see how it feels. This is probably the coolest color combination they have, the Bonneville Salt. This one's actually been pinstriped by Mark Brody. So you have a little bit of pinstriping. Which actually does a pretty good job because that's actually a logo. That's actually the Harley logo, and it's pretty spot on. When you live in the middle of St. Petersburg, this is what you get. Probably 17 times a day. But anyway, here we have the inverted forks on the front end. And this thing has really good suspension because, as you can see, the forks go straight from the handlebars straight down, giving you very easy access to turn sharply. And of course, exposed rear shocks that are going to be very effective for any bumps. Oh, he even pinstriped a little wheel. Jeez, that's cool. Person on the back, little baby pegs. You're not going to get your boots burnt on the exhaust. Goes nicely there. I'm gonna take it out. I'm not gonna take it far. I'm gonna try to stay close to home and just I'm gonna try to demonstrate the suspension and the handling on it, so I don't have to go very far. I'm gonna take it to the back of the store because I know we have some natural obstacles that I can maneuver around. With this bike, the name of the game is tight spaces and easy corners. In the commercials they first came out with, they actually showed riders going through very narrow alleys, making very tight turns. It's got to be the best handling Harley that is out right now. The bike's centered, it turns very well, and it also leans very well. This bike does have the Revolution 750. They do have to compete with other bikes that millennials are buying, like the CBR, like the R1, Ducatis, because those bikes cost the same or less and are sometimes way more bike than this bike is. You really have to want a new age urban Harley-Davidson motorcycle. The person who buys this bike is not going to be the person who wants the fastest. You're truly just not going to get it. People who are buying them are people who fell in love with the Street 500 and the Street 750 because that's what they learned how to ride on, and then they want to upgrade now just to the Street Rod. I would argue saying that every dealership struggles to sell the Streets. I don't think they're nearly as popular as Harley thought they would be. So let's not with that as controversy, but here we have a really well-made bike for a reasonable price and a great promo running now through April. That's all I got for you guys this time today. I'll see you guys next time.